In this video, I'll show you how to extract the site settings value using liquid language. Now, in Power Pages, you have something called as a site settings table in the backend, which will store all the site related settings as a key value pair. Now, if you want to extract those information in your Power Pages site, you can make use of the settings object to extract the value. Now, what is the scenario? Why would you like to do that? Now, in an example, like say if you have something called as a tag like search enabled. Now, if you want to see whether the search is enabled or not, and on basis of that condition, you will do some further action, then it is essential to extract those site settings related information from the backend. Another example would be the page size. So if you want to display a grid, and if you want to render a grid based on the page size configured in the backend, you can go ahead and do that. And then there are other multiple examples, like say if you want to know the date time format, what is the date time format set in the backend, and accordingly you can render the date time within your application depending on the format set in the backend. Now I'll show you all this in an example. So first thing, let's see where that site settings comes from. So if you in the Power Pages Design Studio, if you navigate to Power Pages Management, you'll be taken to the backend site, which stores all the configuration related information for your Power Pages site. So here we have something called a site settings. Now site settings again is a table which will have a key value pair. So there's a name, there's a value, and then corresponding website. So I have three different websites hosted in my Power Pages site. So if I just filter by Philadelphia, so this is the site name Philadelphia, which I'm working on. So as you see over here, there are 46 site settings. Now there are some site settings value related to authentication, like if you want to track the login, if you want to view the parameter for login, throttling, time limit, timestamp. Then there is date time format. So as you see over here, there is date time format. I have created my own site setting, Girish grid page size. So I say I want to show grid page size of 13. It can hold a numeric value, it can hold a boolean value, it can hold a string value. So there are so many things which you can do over here. It can even store like a hyperlink, right? So there are various things, like one more which is by default available is search enabled. Now you can turn on the search enabled to true or false, and even like if the bootstrap v5 is enabled, we can set it for true or false. And if you are not satisfied with whatever is available out of the box, you can create your own site setting. Now, how do we extract this? So I have created a Power Pages site over here named as December. If I click on edit code, I'll be navigated to the backend. uh, Here I can write the liquid code in an HTML page. So to start with, what I'm gonna do, I will just put this operator, and then from here I'll just say settings, and in settings, square bracket, I'll just put the keyword. Now what is the keyword? Now from here I just need to extract this value, so search slash enabled, or date time format. So let me pick up a date time format. So let me see if I have that date time format. So I have this date time format, so I'll just go ahead and copy this, and I'll paste this value over here, date time format. And that's it. Here you will be able to extract this information. So I'll put a br tag, and I will just copy this again. So I'm gonna show you like three or four examples. So just put say single quotes, two curly braces, and a br tag. So like this, you can extract various settings value, be it in any format. So I'll just show you some couple of examples. So that's date time date format. Then we have something called as profile related. So I have this profile enabled. So if I want to check whether the profile is enabled or not, so I'll just go ahead and paste this value, profile enabled. Make sure that you get rid of all the unwanted spaces. Then anything related to HTTP. So if you have anything related to HTTP X frame option. So I can get what is this, is the same origin or some other value. So I'll just paste this value here. And as you all know, like we can use other things related to search. So search enabled. So search enabled, which I just showed you, whether the search is enabled or not, you can get that value from here. So output we are going to get is a value. So I'll just put this value over here, right? And once you do that, just save this. And once you save, make sure that you do a quick synchronization. And once that is done, you can just go ahead and refresh the page. So it should extract the value from the backend. So as you see over here, it has extracted the value from the backend. Now I have logged into this application, right? So it is extracting this value. Let's do one thing. Let's sign out from the application and see whether it retrieves this value back or not. Now, as you see over here, it has retrieved the value back. So you need not sign into the application for this thing to work. Okay, but just for this example purpose, I'm just logging into the application. So you need not log into the application. The application has anonymous access to the site settings. Okay, so other thing what you can do is you can assign this value to a variable. So how do you use an assignment operations operator is you use a percent sign and then you use a keyword assign, and you put some values. Say check search is a variable, and then how do you do that? You get this value setting search enabled. So I'll just copy this, and this is how you extract the value into a variables. Check search is setting search enabled. But this value, it can be, people can put anything over here, right? People can put true, I can put false, or I can put it as enabled, or I can put it as yes, I can put it as yes, or I can put it as no, or I can put disabled, or I can put it as so let me put it as disabled. Okay, so disabled. So so this is the value I'm setting, disabled. Now if I go over here, I need to convert this into a boolean value. Okay, so now why I'm converting this to boolean value, because I'm going to check that in my next statement. Okay, now what is the value which you have set? So I can just check in check search, right? So in check search, I'm just displaying this value. Let's see what it returns. So technically, if you think that it should return disabled, right? Whatever is the value which is set over here, and we are converting that into boolean. So let's see what output does it return. So I just save this and sync. So if you go to search enable, the value is disabled, right? Now as you see over here, this value is coming as disabled, but this value is coming as false. But both are same statement, right? You're getting setting search enabled, but here you're converting that into a boolean. So that means what it has done, it has taken the value disabled and then checked whether, when you convert that into boolean, what is the equivalent representation. So equivalent representation of disabled is false, and that's why it is showing as false. So you can use further level filtering. You can use the typecasting operator or the type filter to convert that into different data set. So this is just one example. Now another example is like if you want to set the page size. So I'll just say assign page size equal to, and then I will get the corresponding page size. So let's say my page size is coming from, so I've used a custom setting over here named as Girish page size, something like that. So Girish grid page size. So I put the value as 13. Okay, so I'll just copy this and I will put the value Girish grid page size. So this will give me that value. Assign page size is set is Girish page size value, and I will do a simple typecasting. So I'll say I want this value as a part of integer because I need to compare this. Now, if I do not get any value from here, the default should be to say 5. Okay, default should be 5. But if I'm getting value, then that's fine. So the currently the value is set to 13, so that's fine. So how do we do a comparison? So you use an if operator. So you use a if and an end if. So how do I write that if and end if is? I'll just show you here. So this is if and this is end if. So this is how you write the if and if block. And once you do that, you just need to write the condition. What is the condition? So the condition is basically this page size. So if this page size is greater than, say if the page size is greater than say 10, then page size is greater than 10. So this is the text which will get rendered. If not, there is nothing. Okay, or maybe we will just say, for the sake of displaying the value, uh, we can use a keyword called as else. Okay, else do something. Now what is this? We can just say page size is smaller. Size is smaller. So this is a simple if condition we have written. Now what we have done, we have taken the page size value from Girish grid page size, which is the value 13. As you see here in the backend, it is the value is 13. We are converting it to integer, and if nothing is there, put the default as 5. Now what should happen? The 13 is greater than 10. That's why it should show us this value. Page size is greater than 10 and not page size is smaller. So let's save this and sync. And it has given me a value as tag was not properly terminated with reg expression. Now, so let's see the syntax related issue. So we'll say if page size is greater than 10. So let's say this one, assign page size equal to settings of Girish grid page size. We have converted that into an integer. Okay, and default is 5. But as you see over here, we haven't put that percent sign. So this is a mistake which we have did. So let's correct this mistake. So percent, uh, rest all should be fine. So I'll just put a BR so that the output is not displayed on, like different lines. So yeah, so this is the change. Let's go to sync. So Power Pages will give you all the output as you see over here. Also, you can use something called as a Power Pages extension. So if I click on this Power Pages extension, this is basically like if you do an F12, then here you will get an option of Power Pages, and then from here you can actually see the error. With the Power Pages extension. Now, in my case, now there is no error, so page size is greater than 10. The output has come very correct, right? So this is what we wanted. We said that page size, get the value from Girish grid page size. The value is 13. 13 greater than 10. It is showing me page size is greater than 10. Now let's do one thing. If I do not put any value, so then what happens? So you'll click on save. So I'm not making any change in the code. I'm just changing the value in the backend, and I'm just synchronizing it. So as you see over here, the value now has come as page size is smaller. Now why it has come this way? Because if you see over here, we have set assign page sizes settings of Girish page size convert into integer and the default value is 5. Now why this default value holds a significant importance over here? Because if you do not get any value from here, by default assume the default value is 5, and then if the default value is 5, then it will show page size is smaller. Now what happens if there is no value in the backend like what you have seen now, and you don't put that default word? Okay, so I'm just removing the default word, and now I'm saving this particular liquid code. So in the site settings, again, I will not put any value like this previous example. We had the default keyword, and that's why it was picking up the value as 5 and then showing me. But now this time I have even removed that default word, right? So if I remove that default word, and if I now run this application, so it will give me the value as page size is smaller. So it has assumed some value, and it has given me that value. But if you want to know what that value is, what you can do is you can just type in the variable page size. So I'll just type in the variable page size, put a br tag, control s, and sync it. So scenario is I haven't put anything in the site setting, the value is blank. I'm now have not even used the default word, and once it is sync, it will give me some value. Now as you see over here, it says page size is smaller, disabled false. So disabled and check search is false. Now the page size value is not coming anything. So as you see over here, let me just run this. So the page size value is nothing, but still it says page size is smaller. Now, so that means you technically don't need that default keyword, because it will just assume some value and then it will execute the functionality. Why it is useful is because if in create page size, if you type in some text, okay, some random text. Now, if you do this, okay, instead of not putting any value, and there is no default value set as well, let me sync this. Now, what it will do, it will start extracting the value. It will get some value from here, it will try to convert into integer, and once it converts into integer, and I'll just run this. Once it converts into integer, again it will form that same representation like as if it is there is no value, and then it will start throwing you that error. Earlier I thought that it may throw out an error, but then Power Pages is smart enough to give some, say, I'd say a zero value or a null value, and then if you compare that null value against greater than 10, then it will start displaying that value. So again, depending on your programming language, now in Liquid it is not throwing me an error, so that means technically, like, even if you skip that default word, it's fine. But make sure that if you want to check and put some boundaries around the check constraints, then make sure that you use default. So that's it, folks. This is all about uh, the different settings format which we can extract from the backend using the settings filter. Thanks for watching.